Got a Civivi. Yeah. Pure. And this, I don't know, I guess it's a 10-year anniversary model. But this is another Elementum 2 button lock. Natural G10 handle, satin finish nitro V blade. So this knife is going to be another this or that, because I've got another one of these. So one of these is going to stay, the other one's going to go to the purge. So the other one that it's up against is this one. It's got the Ultim scales, Elementum, hollow ground. It's in the nitro V steel. There's the badging for it right there. Same steel. It's going to be same blade, same button lock. I mean, this and the Elementum, this button lock, I mean, it's next level stuff. But I had a chance to pick this one up in the G10 for a really good price. So I thought, well, I'm going to see if I like it better than the Ultim scale. So there we go. Let's get this one out of here. We're actually going to use its brother to free it. How about that? Whoop. Should be good to go. All right. Yeah, and so I'll keep one. One's going to go to the purge. Got all the standard Civivi stuff and some. Yeah, it's got natural jade, G10. Looks like the exact same blade. That one's got a satin finish. I think this one does too. We'll see. I like these little comparisons, this or that. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun. Which is it going to be? Alright, let's get this box out of here. Alright, G10. It's got some texture on it. There you can see the texture. It's got a satin collar. Stonewash pocket clip. Let's get it out of there. Should be that same nitro V blade. Hollow ground. Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be much difference here, except the scale. They should be the same. Got a blacked out pivot right there. This one you can see the skeletonized scales in there. That's pretty cool. Looks like the pocket clip is exactly the same, and the scales both have the same, that same stone-washed finish on it. Flat. Yeah, so I mean, really, it's kind of down to the scales. Got a polished pivot here where the pivot on this one matches the pocket clip. So I mean, visual stuff, really. And then the scales. I mean, they're both kind of grippy. This one's got a, like a, I don't know, 45-degree angle cut on them, and it's grippy. You can feel that texture. And then this one's got the standard G10 texture on it. Hey, but we're going to check it in real quick. We ain't got to go crazy on it because we're not really kind of trying to learn about the knife. We're just going to clean it up and pretty much at that point put it back together. Oh, my pivot jumped. You know how they lock in? Well, it jumped out of that groove. There we go. Got a fair amount of Loctite on there. And either of those pocket, nope, pocket clip doesn't gotta go. Take the tension off of that blade a little bit. Yeah, there's no oil in here or anything, so we'll do a quick wipe down, provide some lubrication for the bearings. They look fairly dry, and we'll put it back together. No worries. Quick wipe down, a little bit of towel work. I'm good at towel boy. Same skeletonization on these scales as the others. And then of course Civivi captures their pivots. It's got a little cutout on the pivot here and then a little nub on the scale that locks it in, and they all line up directly going south on the scale. Yeah, and it'll lock that down, so no issues. Excellent button lock design, the way that they mill these into the blades, how it all functions. Never had an issue with any of these Civivi or Wii button locks. They all function really well. Alright, rub them bearings real quick and we'll get it back together. Brass cage bearings. Quality piece on a budget knife. You know, these knives aren't a lot of money. It's funny because I actually made fun of the whole Elementum thing. Like, if you're a knife guy, you gotta, this is a must-have or something, and I don't know. I mean, I caught some side trash from it because all of a sudden I was a knife snob. It's like, what? It's like, all right. I mean, but then I sold my Elementum in the Purge, and then I bought a button lock, which I like a lot, and immediately decided, yeah, this one's not going in the Purge, because the button lock version of it I like. I just wasn't a huge fan of the other version, but you know, it's a great knife, and I mean, would I recommend it to somebody? Hey, I don't have a pocket knife, I'm thinking about getting a pocket knife, my first one, and somebody said, hey, the Elementum's a good one. I absolutely, most definitely would not disagree with that. I'd be like, oh yeah, it's a pretty good knife. I mean, and for a first pocket knife, it's not overbearing. It's not, you know, you're not going to deal with things that you might deal with other versions of knives. So yeah, is it a good entry-level knife into the pocket knife world? Of course it is. Do I like this button lock version better? Yeah, I do. Spring sprung. Got good tension on these springs, man. Why am I not going right? There we go. I was like, come on, man, I can see through the scale. How am I missing that? There we got it. T8 hardware. It's the good stuff. It's got a lanyard hole built into the scales, the liners. I'm going to check those pocket clip screws. I'm messing around here with screwdrivers. Might as well just make sure that they are crispy tight. Recessed pocket clip, recessed screws. I mean, it's the correct way to do it for sure. Alright, let me check that detent. Make sure I'm not too tight or too loose. Ooh, locked up tight, tight, tight. Excellent detent. Yeah, wonderful. I can put this away. And this. I'm gonna run that knife just a little bit, and then I'll feed back on that action, what I think. I'm not even sure if I could fail this. I mean, it's a button lock, but there's something telling me that the detent they've created with this button and the way that they've highly polished that button. Look how highly polished that button is in there. Just shiny like a mirror. That the detent on this, I can't fail it. I'm gonna try it right here. Yeah, it just failed. Like right at the very end, man. There it went all the way. I mean, the detent provided by the button, the spring, the whole system here is wonderful. The action drops shut. The blade's completely free when I depress that button. And the tuning on the button, the amount that it sticks out of the scale, it's even with the top of the scale. And the amount, let me see if I can find the right angle to show that. The amount that it needs to be depressed is perfect. Like I'm not having to mess around and figure out timing or anything. Just very intuitive, instinctual to operate this button. Where a lot of button locks, I mean, ultimately they're okay, but they're not intuitive. Like you got to figure out the timing, and not this. I mean, listen, as soon as you pick it up, you go, yeah, the right amount of tension on the button, the right amount, the distance to depress it, it all functions really well. The flipper tab, it's got great jimping on it, works excellent. Yeah, wonderful. I mean, just to recap, we'll run this pocket clip, but you already know by looking at it that it's a top grade pocket clip. It's the kind of pocket clip that I go, why doesn't every knife just use something like this? It's over the thick stuff, drier tension. I mean, that thing will go for the longest tumble, and if I was to reach back here for my knife, that thing's going to be there after I get thrown around in a tornado, which we've had a lot of those lately here in Oklahoma. You know, Oklahoma, where the wind, you know, that kind of thing, man. We have tornadoes, brother. They happen. I mean, this last big storm come through here recently, I stood on the porch with most of my neighbors and just watched, you know what I mean? Watched the wind swirl and the rain blow. I'm one of those, you know, I'm just going to watch it until it blows me away. I wonder if it's, well, let's check safety. I mean, somebody will be watching, not watch that one, and then not watch this one, and then be curious, man, can you touch that blade? Nope. That tip's completely recessed, so the clip's good, the tip's good. I'm very confident to put this in my pocket and not make contact with the blade at all. Do these come sharp? Keep in mind, that's a hollow ground blade, and the blade stock's not overly thick to begin with. Yeah, it's that kind of sharp, y'all. Out of the box. No strop, no nothing. Civivi does a great job. All right, price and availability. I'll probably look up both of these and see if there's a difference in the price on these. Be right back. Okay, these are about $75 on Amazon. Next day delivery. And these are $65, so about $10 difference. Yeah, so, all right. I'll post a link down below to this one. The reason I'm going to do that is because this one's going in the purge. Well, so maybe I'm thinking about that wrong. I'll post a link to this one because I'm keeping this one. And then if you want this one, why not get it from me in the purge? Brand new, man. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the decision, man. I'll post a link down below for this one, but I'm going to keep this one. And the reason I'm going to is I just like the G10 better, and I may dye this like a black, dark purple. I mean, to go against that satin blade, that pivot, all this hardware, this thing will look amazing. Same steel, same action, everything's the same. But yeah, I may dye this one out. Definitely going to keep it though. This button lock version of the Elementum, pretty cool. All right, I appreciate y'all watching.